Yo, what's up, everybody? It's Red. This is West Blue Reviews, and today we talking about One Piece chapter 1160. But first, let's nope. Okay. What's up, y'all? It's Red. This is West Blue Reviews, and today we talking about One Piece chapter 1160. Wow, what a setup. This was crazy. But you already know, first we got to get into the cover page. It's simply just Yamato looking over the flower capital of Wano, specifically towards Oden Shrine. I really think out of every cover page of her journey so far, I think this is gonna be the one that is the most crucial. I think this is the one that plays the most important part, and I think it'll come back to the main story at some point. I think this was like the biggest, hey, don't forget Wano, like so far throughout her whole entire journey, just because of the chapter we got, you know, that it's associated with. It's definitely gonna come back to play at some point. But yeah, I don't even want to harp too much on that because it's so simple. But let's get into this work of fiction we call One Piece. This was crazy. The first half of this chapter is just cruel, very cruel. Oda really cooked in the most bittersweet way, the only way I can really put it. The God Valley incident is unfolding right in front of us, and we start things off where we ended last week. You know, everyone's on their way. Celestial Dragons, God's Knights, Garp, Roger, Rocks, everybody. They're all, you know, en route to this epicenter that we call God Valley. And it's just bad. We see a young Teach, a young Blackbeard, his point of view of this crowd of people who are thrilled to be hunting him, bro. And he sees them as monsters, like literal monsters. I know we kind of get on Oda for his silhouettes, but this was masterful. This made every silhouette Oda's ever drawn worth it, because it matches up. You can put one of those silhouettes next to any Celestial Dragons and it won't matter. They'll look the exact same, because that's what they are. They're monsters. They may look like that when Oda draws them, but the way Blackbeard sees them is no different. Excuse me. That was just crazy. That blew my mind. Oda, you really on it, bro. You're really on it, because imagine us being introduced to the Celestial Dragons from that point of view, and then finding out who they were, as opposed to, you know, the flip that we have now. It's a different story. Oda's crazy. But yeah, he's frightened by this crowd of people who's excited to hunt him. They're calling him these horrible things and throwing knives. People are getting penalized for trying to, you know, because they might kill him too early, and, you know, they hold the most value. They up there with the Buccaneers like Kuma. You already know the Davy clan that was just revealed, and a lot more that they say, you know, that they haven't even named yet. And it's just sad. It really is. This is not cool. This is very cruel. Shank's mother, we still don't see her face, but she's handing him and Shamrock over to someone. I don't know. This chapter just boggled me. There was a lot I wasn't really clear on, but that's what we see. She's handing them off somewhere, and Dragon's off. He's off running now. I think she handed them off to him. He's just been running and, you know, just trying to get them somewhere safe the whole chapter. And then she dies because Garland stabbed her. This is sick. It's like I'm reading a drama. And then we see Kuma again, and his backstory gets, you know, a little more shine and a little more interconnection, because we all know. And then yeah, the games, they officially get started. They tell everyone who was kidnapped and locked in cuffs that, hey, y'all got an hour to, you know, get somewhere, you know, do y'all thing, because we coming. And it's just sad, because not long after we see it, they really get to shooting people. They getting stabbed. The God's Knights is doing their thing. Garland being a tryhard. We get a Saint Gunko. I think that's her mom. It could be, or maybe she's a clone. Could be. You never know. It's One Piece. She's doing her arrow thing. Summers being a dickhead, sees a kid in a tree, tells him to jump because he has a thorny cushion waiting for him. His dad comes out the woodwork trying to save him. Like, yo, that's my kid, bro. Like, have some decency. It's just bad. It's bad all around. It's bad all around. And it's just gonna make their defeat taste even more sweet once we see it. It's gonna be on and popping, and I can't wait. What else? We stick with Dragon pretty much the rest of the first half of the chapter, and he wants to help, but he knows the consequences, and he doesn't want to risk his entire platoon getting wiped out because he wants to be a hero. But it looks like he's going along with it, because not long after, we see him catch his first body, and you know, he did it saving Kuma and a young Ivankov, you know, because he thought they still had hope. He pulled up on them at the right time, because Ivankov was trying to cheer them on to have hope and keep going and survive the games. Just don't play, do your best to hide, and we'll be all right. They was about to get popped, you know what I mean? You know, one of the Celestial Dragons like, oh, it's the Kuma brat. Oh yeah, this was, you know. Luckily, as soon as, it's like one of those fake outs where as soon as, you know, you think it's one of those fake outs where you think they popped him, but it was somebody else, and it turned out to be Dragon. I thought that was crazy, because you instantly see his conflict. You like, bro, damn, like, what did I just do? You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people were waiting for Dragon to come back. A lot of people were talking down on Dragon for not doing nothing. Man, I don't know what to say now. I really don't. This shit is real. That was just tough, man. That was tough. I can't wait for them to animate it. I hope there's no music involved. I hope, you know, just straight pianos or strings, but no music, you know, because that's gonna be something. I hope they give it to Vincent the same way they gave Kaido. They let him do Kaido's backstory, because that was solid. I really do hope Vincent gets this one, because boy, that's gonna be something. No devil fruit, just straight, you know, morals. Boy. And then right after that, we jump into the second half. We don't see what happens to Dragon until the very end, but until then, we get Rocks, and he's basically giving his crew the rundown, because they're all assembled, and in a very fly and cool way. It's that one panel of the Rocks pirates when they first arrive in Kuma's flashback, and he jumps off, and they're like, damn, Rocks, like, you always in a rush, you gonna mess us up, you know what I mean? Like, it's that moment leading up to that initial introduction, and I think that's fire, because he's just simply motivating them, like, yo, we know they got Shaki, so we gonna pull up. We know they got devil fruits. We know they got cash and all of that. So we just gonna take all of that. We know we beefing amongst each other, but let's say that till we get back at the crib. For right now, let's just get shit done, and then we gonna dip. All right. Everybody's like, yeah, all right. I just want to save Shaki, so she, you know what I'm saying? So she fought with me anyway. And everybody go down the line thinking, you know, how they gonna impress her or whatnot. And I think Blackbeard really had the most solid response. He like, man, I just came to help the homie, but if she want to slide, I ain't gonna stop her. And that immediately upset Stussy. She like, bro, I'm right next to you. And then, you know, got Gloriosa like, well, shit, maybe if I save my friend and take him back to Roger, that'll impress him. You know, everybody got their own goals right now. I think Big Mom had the most realistic response. She like, bro, she is not digging none of y'all. And ain't nothing like a woman to keep it real with you, man. I promise you. Big Mom back in the day was probably like more solid than any pirate on the seas besides Roger and Rocks themselves. I promise you. I won't nobody tougher than Big Mom. I promise you. And then the God's Knights assemble, and it's a bunch of, well, I wouldn't say a bunch, but there's some new cats that we haven't seen before. I think that was fire. And immediately the big guy with the horns, the monster looking guy, he immediately reminded me of Eduardo from Foster's Home of Imaginary Friends. I hope he has like a Spanish accent. That'd be funny. I hope he's wearing like a belt with like a skull on it. I really hope that was Oda's inspiration for it. That would be hilarious. We see, you know, Gunko's there, a young Summers, but we also see a few that we were introduced to a while back. The guy with the animal skull on his head and Shorty with the hat. But we also see two new ones, Shorty wielding the blade and the big chick with the glasses and the sharp teeth. She looks like killing him or quilling him, whatever his name is. So they could be related in some kind of way. I think that's fire. And I instantly think that'll be a cool matchup for Big Mom. Like, definitely. I think that'll be fire to see them go at it. Man, I can't really call too many matchups right now, but those are like, that just stood out the most because they're like two of the tallest chicks on the field. You know what I mean? So that one just, I definitely want to see that. But other than that, it'll be pretty hard to like really predict where Oda may go with these. And then last but not least, while Roger and Rocks are literally tearing people to shreds and just, you know, bombarding the island, messing up the party, we get Garp pulling up, and he's on demon time throwing cannonballs from the water because he ain't even reached the island yet, which is crazy. One of the crazy, he ain't pulled up like this since he helped Kobe out, and once again Vincent went crazy. So man, I hope they let Vincent just do his thing, man. I can't wait to see this animated. I can't wait until we're out of the flashback, but the way it's going, we may be here for a while, folks. I'm not complaining though. It's been the craziest setup chapter in a while, in my opinion. Break next week, but you know Oda, he doesn't give breaks for no reason. So when we come back, you can already expect at least 3 bangers back to back, and it's gonna be crazy. That's pretty much it. 1160, we here. We made it to God Valley. Well, we made it back to God Valley. There's no stopping us now. We on the move. I hope everybody's okay. It's a new week upon us. I hope everybody's putting some bread up. I hope everybody's going for their goals, working out, moving, drinking water, staying hydrated. Yeah, man, and just going for something that they want. That's what I've been on. Just trying to stay centered for the most part. And yeah, I'm chatting. Y'all be safe. See y'all in the next one. Maybe next week, 2 weeks. Who knows? Peace.